Lesson 6, American Government, Rights and Responsibilities. This lesson explains some of the rights and responsibilities of an American citizen. Understanding your rights and civic responsibilities will allow you to better participate in American society and its political process. This lesson is divided into 4 sections. Rights and Responsibilities, Section 1. We will now begin the first section of Lesson 6. The U.S. Constitution sets up the government, defines the government, and protects basic rights of Americans. In this way, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. As the supreme law in the United States, the U.S. Constitution is above any state or federal law. However, the U.S. Constitution is not final. The framers of the Constitution included procedures that allow for changes or additions to be made to the Constitution. These changes are called amendments. It is not easy to amend the Constitution. Any proposed amendment must pass each House of Congress with a 2/3 majority and then be approved by 3/4 of the state legislatures. The first 10 amendments made to the Constitution are known as the Bill of Rights. 4 later amendments have to do with voting rights. So far, 27 amendments have been added to the Constitution. The United States has always been a democracy, but originally, only wealthy white males could vote. Today, any citizen who is 18 years or older may vote. These equal voting rights were achieved only after years of struggle and 4 amendments to the Constitution. The First Amendment gives voting rights to all male citizens, regardless of their race. The Second Amendment gives women the right to vote. The next amendment prohibits poll taxes. This means you don't have to pay to vote. The last change made 18 the minimum legal voting age. Together, these 4 amendments guarantee all citizens aged 18 or older the right to vote. This is the end of Section 1. We will now practice the related civics questions. Question 1. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Question 2. What does the Constitution do? Sets up the government. The Constitution sets up the government, defines the government, and protects the basic rights of Americans. Question 4. What is an amendment? A change or addition to the Constitution. An amendment is a change or addition to the Constitution. Question 5. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Question 7. How many amendments does the Constitution have? 27. The Constitution has 27 amendments. Question 48. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. Any citizen who is 18 or older can vote. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. One amendment allows any citizen who is 18 or older to vote. Another amendment says you don't have to pay to vote. A third amendment lets any citizen vote, both women and men. And the last amendment allows a male citizen of any race to vote. Rights and Responsibilities, Section 2. We will now begin the second section of Lesson 6. Everyone living in the United States, not just citizens, has certain basic rights. 4 of these freedoms are from the First Amendment. These 4 rights are freedom of speech, also referred to as freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government, and freedom of religion, also known as freedom of worship. Freedom of speech, or freedom of expression, means a person may say or otherwise express any idea they wish. Freedom of assembly gives people the right to gather in a group. Freedom to petition the government allows you to make a complaint or request to the government. And freedom of religion means you can practice any religion or not practice a religion. Another basic right that is for everyone living in the United States comes from the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment protects everyone's right to bear arms, or to own a firearm. As mentioned, the first 4 rights come from the First Amendment. However, the 5th right from the First Amendment is only for U.S. citizens. That right is freedom of the press. Freedom of the press means the media may publish whatever it wishes. This is the end of Section 2. Question 6. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Speech. One right or freedom from the First Amendment is freedom of speech. The First Amendment guarantees 5 rights or freedoms: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, and freedom to petition the government. Question 10. What is freedom of religion? Freedom of religion means you can practice any religion or not practice a religion. Question 51. What are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? Freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States. Some other rights are freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government, freedom of worship, and the right to bear arms. Rights and Responsibilities, Section 3. We will now begin the third section of Lesson 6. While citizens have many freedoms, they also have responsibilities. 2 responsibilities of every citizen are to serve on a jury and to vote in federal elections. The Constitution allows citizens the right to a trial by jury. A jury is a group of citizens who listen to a court case and decide if a person is guilty or innocent. If you receive a letter for jury duty, you are required to serve because jury duty is a legal responsibility. Voting, on the other hand, is not a legal responsibility, but a civic responsibility. Even though you are not required to vote, democracy works best when all citizens participate in the democratic process and help choose leaders that represent their ideas and interests. Other responsibilities of a U.S. citizen include obeying the law, paying taxes, and knowing about current issues. However, even if you aren't a citizen, it is important to know about current issues, and you still must obey all laws and pay all your taxes. Anyone who works in the United States has to pay federal income tax and, in most states, state income tax as well. During your naturalization exam, you may be asked if you owe any taxes, so it is important to pay your taxes. Every year, April 15th is the last day to send in your federal and state income tax forms. While legal residents have many of the same rights as U.S. citizens, citizenship gives you two very important rights: the right to vote in a federal election and the right to run for federal office. These are two very important ways you can participate in our democracy. This is the end of Section 3. We will now practice the related civics questions. Question 49. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? Vote in a federal election. Two responsibilities of a U.S. citizen are to serve on a jury and to vote in a federal election. Question 50. Name one right only for United States citizens. Vote in a federal election. Voting in federal elections is one right only for United States citizens. Another right is running for federal office. Question 54. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? 18. Citizens have to be 18 or older to vote for president or in any other federal, state, or local election. Question 56. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? April 15th. The last day you can send in your federal income tax forms is April 15th. Rights and Responsibilities, Section 4. We will now begin the fourth section of Lesson 6. At naturalization ceremonies, new citizens are required to take an oath of allegiance. Through this oath, one promises to give up loyalty to other countries, defend the Constitution and laws of the United States, obey the laws of the United States, serve in the U.S. military if needed, serve or do important work for the nation if needed, and be loyal to the United States. Similarly, new citizens also recite the Pledge of Allegiance at their ceremony. The Pledge of Allegiance shows your loyalty to both the United States and to its flag. The words to the Pledge of Allegiance are, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The original pledge was written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy, but was not written for the United States. Bellamy wrote a pledge to be used by citizens of any country. In the 1920s, the phrase, "the flag of the United States of America," was added. Then, in 1954, Congress added the words, "under God." That last change created the pledge we say today. When saying the pledge, you should stand facing the flag with your right hand over your heart. If you are wearing a military uniform, you should salute instead of putting your hand over your heart. There are many ways a citizen can become involved in their democracy. This participation is so important that many of the activities are protected by the Constitution. Some ways to participate include voting, joining a political party, community group, or civic group, helping with a campaign, giving an elected official your opinion on an issue, calling senators and representatives, publicly supporting or opposing an issue or policy, running for office, and writing to a newspaper. The two major political parties in the United States are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. The elephant is the symbol of the Republican Party, and the donkey represents the Democratic Party. Since the 1850s, all U.S. presidents and all but one Connecticut governor have belonged to one of these two parties. For most of its history, the United States has had only two major political parties, although the parties and policies have differed over time. These parties are the most important in all elections, especially national ones. However, third parties have more success in local elections, and are important in bringing new ideas into national politics. Women's voting rights, child labor laws, the 40-hour work week, and Social Security are all ideas originally promoted by third parties. Currently, the largest third parties in the United States are the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, and the Constitution Party. The Libertarian Party believes in very limited federal government. The most radical form would be a government that only provides police, prisons, courts, and the military. The Green Party promotes grassroots democracy, social justice, nonviolence, and environmentalism. The Constitution Party wants greater power given to the states and a federal government guided by a strict interpretation of the Constitution. You do not have to be a member of a political party to vote, nor do you have to vote for your party's candidate if you are a member. However, one advantage to belonging to a political party is you can vote in primary elections. Connecticut is one of several states that has closed primaries. This means you must belong to the political party to vote in their primary election. Many other states have open or mixed primaries, which allow voters to vote in a primary election even if they are not a member of that political party. When citizens are ordered to join a nation's armed forces, that is called a draft. The United States used the draft in the Civil War, World Wars I and II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. Today, though, the United States military is all volunteer. Men and women can choose to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces, but are not required to serve. However, men between the ages of 18 and 26 must still register for military service. The system is called selective service and will be used should a new draft ever become necessary. Between 18 and 26 means you must register before your 26th birthday. This is why selective service describes between 18 and 26 as 18 through 25. This is the end of Section 4. We will now practice the related civics questions. Question 45. What are the two major political parties in the United States? Democratic and Republican. The two major political parties in the United States are the Democratic and Republican parties. Question 52. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? The United States and the country's flag. When we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we show our loyalty to the United States and to the country's flag. Question 53. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? To give up loyalty to other countries. One promise you make when you become a United States citizen is to give up loyalty to other countries. In addition, you also promise to defend the Constitution and laws of the United States, obey the laws of the United States, serve in the U.S. military if necessary, serve or do important work for the nation if needed, and be loyal to the United States. Question 55. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? Vote and run for office. There are many ways Americans can participate in their democracy. Americans can vote, join a political party, help with a campaign, join a civic group, join a community group, give an elected official your opinion on an issue, call senators and representatives, publicly support or oppose an issue or policy, run for office, and write to a newspaper. Question 57. When must all men register for the Selective Service? Between 18 and 26. All men must register for Selective Service at the age of 18 or between the ages of 18 and 26. This is the end of Lesson 6.